it's Jamie. So I'm here with a video that I'm not sure all of you are going to be interested in, but I thought I would post it anyway. When I did my 2015 resolutions video, I talked about the fact that I wanted to read more this year. And I'll link that below if you're interested in that. I am a reader. I grew up reading. I loved to read when I was a kid. I mean, you guys remember the Babysitter's Club, Nancy Drew? Don't get me started on some Nancy Drew because I would probably read her today. I just love to read. I was a very social child, but I also like to go on honestly, it was like a Friday after school thing when I was in middle school, probably, or a little younger than that, where my mom, we would, got to get home from school and we'd go to the grocery store and we'd run by the mall and then go to the Hallmark store and get Jelly Bellies. And then across from the Hallmark store was a bookstore, and now I can't remember what the name of the bookstore was. Was it Dalton Books? But yes, I love to read, and I would pick up a book with my Jelly Bellies and I was a happy camper. But you know, as we get older, we don't have time for things, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos if I'm not editing, if I'm not filming, if I'm not at work. And sometimes the reading just kind of gets tossed by the wayside, and I realize I really enjoy it. So I need to make time for it. I have picked 12 books to read this year. Now they're kind of all over the place, and no judgments please, because some of them are teeny, as in teenage. Some of it is a little like supernatural stuff, but I think I have a good mix. I mean, my tastes are all over the place. I don't have just one genre that I like. It's just like with music. I like it all. I like to try to read everything. That being said, I just said that, I'm gonna contradict myself right now. If I know a book is going to be too sad, like real life sad, I will not read it. Don't get me started on Nicholas Sparks, you guys. Message in a Bottle, who told me to read that? Cried my eyes out. So if it's too real lifey or too real lifey sad, I tend to stay away from that. I mean, good for you guys if you love those. I know a lot of my friends like those kind of books, and I go the opposite end of the spectrum. I like easy. I like chick lit. I like, you know, stuff that just lets me go somewhere but is almost like a happy place. Anyway, before I get started though, I said I have 12 books to show you, and I was originally said a book a month. But there's one more book. I just read a little article about it online, and I haven't picked it up yet, and I'm going to. And it is called The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I'll show you on my phone. That's the cover of it. I think this is at Barnes & Noble, and it's also at, I believe, Target is supposed to have it. And here's what it says: a debut psychological thriller that will forever change the way you look at other people's lives. Normally that would not be the kind of book that I was interested in, but the excerpt I read, it's a girl and she's on a commuter train every day for work. And I think as she goes by, she notices like houses and people that live there. You know, you see the same people when you're driving to work, you see the same cars in people's yards. But I think it is the kind of thing where she sees the same couple every day on her way, and then one day she sees something really shocking, and I guess it's how it all unfolds. And it sounds really good. It sounds a little bit scary. That's my 13th book, but I don't have it to show you. I hope to go get it maybe this weekend. So I thought I would jump in with the book I have read. Since it's February now, I did complete one book in January, and I'm really happy about that. I'm sticking with my goals, girls. Goals, girls? Anyway, this book right here, Rusty Nailed is the title, and it's by Alice Clayton. I'll let you have a minute. It is the sequel to a book that I read last year called Wallbanger. I said no judgments, please. Anyway, it is about the main character. His name is Caroline, and her boyfriend Simon, and how they meet in the first book. You have to get Wallbanger before you can read this. It's really good. It's really light. It's really easy to read. It is a lot of sexy time. You know what I mean, sexy time. It's not like 50 Shades of Grey sexy time, but it is sexy time. It might make you blush. I don't know. It did make me blush back when I first started reading these, and I'd be like, like a child. It doesn't bother me. Sexy times in books does not bother me. If it bothers you, these aren't for you. But basically they live in San Fran. Caroline is an interior designer. Her boyfriend is a photographer. They've got their own things going in life. That's just how they get together, and this is the follow-up to that. And it's just really good. It's just so easy, and before you know it, you finish the entire book. So Alice Clayton is a good person to check up on if you guys are interested in just those kind of easy to read novels and you don't mind a sexy time, because she did a group of books called, it's a trio. It is The Unidentified Redhead, The Redhead Revealed, and The Redhead Plays Her Hands. They look like this. I did a book review on that not long ago. Well, probably last year too. I'll try to link that below. It might be something you're interested in. You can get these at Target. So yay for my first book. And yes, it is called Rusty Nailed. Okay, the next book I will talk about is a book I've started to read also, and it is the Andy Cohen Diaries, A Deep Look at a Shallow Year. I'm really excited to have this. My friend Mindy gave this to me for Christmas. I'm pretty sure she heard me say I wanted it, but she's really good at knowing what I like anyway. So she picked it up for me, and I started to read it, and I like it so far. It is totally written in diary format, which I really like. As in, like, it says, like, Wednesday, December 18th, 2013. And he just tells it like it is. It's a lot of name dropping, which he says it is, so you know what you're getting. I mean, it's called A Deep Look at a Shallow Year. I really I like Andy Cohen. I think he's cute. I think he seems like he's a really good guy, and his life is just, it's fascinating to me, and I like that he's finally put his year into writing. So, getting started on this, and I will let you guys know. Obviously, at the end of the year, I'll do a video to see if I finished all of these, kind of what I thought, and maybe at the end of the year, I've read so much more. I can do more than 13, I guess. Another book, don't laugh at me because I haven't read this yet. It's The Help by Kathryn Stockett. And why haven't I read this? I heard the book was fabulous. I heard the movie was great, and I have not seen the movie because I wanted to read the book before. Sometimes when movies come out, you know, based on books, I really do like to read the book first. A lot of stuff in books don't get translated in movies accurately, or they have to leave out some of the detail, or they change it to make it a little bit more like Hollywood. So I can't wait to read this, and I know that I'm probably the last woman alive to read it, but I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna finally sit down and watch the movie. Speaking of books turned into movies, hello, Gillian Flynn. I think it's Gillian. I'm gonna go with it. Gone Girl. Okay, I know the movie came out. This is my friend Mindy's book, and she read it in like a weekend, and she's like, girl, if you need to read it. So I was like, okay. I did start this a while back, and it was a good start, but I just put it down and forgot about it. Like I said, life kind of gets in the way. But I really want to see the movie, and I haven't yet, and I think Wes would like to see the movie. So this is on the list, and this is usually not my type of book either, but I'm excited to get into it. And yes, I'm so late on the train, but I heard it was really good. I heard the movie was pretty good too. Okay, another one that's coming out soon as in movie, Insurgent by Veronica Roth. And I read Divergent last year and loved it. Loved it. Just saw the movie over Christmas, and it was amazing. I'll be honest, I read the very first Hunger Games book and then saw that movie, and I haven't watched the other movies. I plan to. I love the Hunger Games too, but for some reason, these characters, I just really like some of the people in here. I like Triss, I like Four. Hello, did you see the movie? I know that none of these are probably gonna end happy, but I can't help myself. See, I'm branching out. I know these aren't gonna be like uplifting, like, I can't imagine at the end, because I know there's one more book that they like save the world. You know what I mean? I mean, especially when it's like, on the back it says one choice. A choice becomes a sacrifice becomes a loss becomes a burden becomes a battle. One choice can destroy you. I'm like, is this gonna put me in a funk? No. But I can't wait to read this. And I think the movie's coming out in March, so have to be prepared because I'd like to see that movie maybe in the theaters. Okie dokie. Jen Lancaster, love her to death. Her personality, she's hilarious. She has that like sharp, witty personality. You guys might know her from Bitter is the New Black. I've read all of her books. Bitter is the New Black, Bright Lights, Big Ass, Such a Pretty Fat, Pretty and Plaid, My Fair Lazy, If You Were Here, Generation X, Here I Go Again, and The Tao of Martha. Read all of these. This is called Twisted Sister, a novel. I didn't even know she had a new book out. Shame on me. But it is, I don't really know honestly what it's about. I picked it up and was like, okay. It says, I'll just read you a tiny bit. It said, a licensed psychologist who stars in the cable breakout show I Need a Push, Reagan Bishop helps participants become their best selves by urging them to overcome obstacles and change behavior. An overachiever, Reagan is used to delivering results. It seems like she has a hard time earning her family's respects. Her sister is a family favorite. She's under pressure to get higher ratings. And it says, record Nielsen ratings follow after she does a few things. But when Reagan decides to use her newfound power to teach everyone a lesson about sibling rivalry, she's the one who will be schooled. So I think this will be a super easy read. I just love her personality. You guys should totally check out her books. Most of her books are not fiction. They're usually based on her life, which is hilarious. But yeah, you should totally check her out. Okay, now I have 2 total chick lit books right here. These books were bought last year. I was supposed to go to Mexico last June. Our trip got canceled because our dog Cooper, most of you probably know who he is. He was a boxer that we had passed in June, and he was diagnosed with an aggressive cancer. And he wasn't with us too long, but we were not going to Mexico and leaving him with our dog sitter, who was a good friend of mine and would have watched him, but we weren't going to leave him on somebody else. And to be honest with you, we didn't want to miss the time with them. But I bought these 2 books because they were like perfect beach reads. This one's called Pretty in Ink, and it's by Lindsey Palmer. And it's about a magazine called Hers. And I guess it is going into the dump and they're about to close it down. But it says it's smart, perceptive, and hilarious. Lindsey Palmer's debut delivers an all too true to life tale of very different women faced with high stakes choices in a rapidly changing yet utterly familiar world. So we'll see. When I see books that look like this, I'm like, has my name on it, because I know they'll be lighthearted. I know they're easy to read, and they are perfect for like pool reading or vacation. This is one called Keep Calm and Carry a Big Drink by Kim Gruenenfelder. Not gonna lie, the cover, I bought it because of it. Yep, I did. Yeah, it's about 3 friends. One named Seema is about to marry her fiance. Another one, Nick, is glowingly pregnant, and Mel has veered off the trails and her life is kind of haywire, I guess. And she's recently single, and I think they go travel together. They end up in Paris and Maui or something like that. And 3 girls or 1 girl, I don't know how many go, but very easy, very girly book. And these are the kind of books that I like to read in the bathtub too. I don't have to be on vacation. I'll take these to the bathtub and I'll pretend that I'm in a Mexican pool. You gotta do what you gotta do. This is one I bought last year. It is by Nick Trout, and it's called The Patron Saint of Lost Dogs. And it is a novel, and I think the premise to this one is, I'll read this someone had written a little review. It says, a delightful, endearing, and frequently hilarious story of a man who lost his way and found it again through a plate of meatloaf, a frigid Vermont winter, and a pair of partially digested, oversized red silk boxer shorts. This novel reminds us of the truth hidden away in our hearts. Loving our animals is a sure way to heal our souls. So this guy Dr. Mills, he comes back to Vermont to take over his recently deceased father, take over his vet business. And I know that I think he ends up getting a dog called Frida Fuzzy Paws. And it's just about, I think, his life with the people in the town and having the vet business and probably dealing with the loss of his father, because I think they were estranged. So, I mean, who couldn't pick that cover up and say, I want to read it? And say, I don't want to read it. All right, and here's the more supernatural style books. These are kind of supernatural, science fiction-y, you know, a little bit of romance. But I think her name is Nalini Singh, like this. And it's Archangel's Consort. And it looks like this. It is a Guild Hunter novel. She has different books out, and there are a couple of books in the Guild Hunter series. One is called Angel's Blood, and the other one is Archangel's Kiss. I've read both of those, really enjoyed it. These are super, super easy. And basically, there's Elena, who is a vampire hunter, and Raphael, the beautiful archangel that she falls in love with. It's set in New York. It's about vampires and all kinds of strange things. And I really, really like these. If you guys are into this, then you should totally check her out. And start with Angel's Blood. Another one about vampires. There's a trend. It's called Wild Things by Chloe Neal. Looks like this. And it's a Chicagoland vampire novel, which means I think this is the 8th or 9th book in the series. Let me count them real quick. 1, 2. This is the 9th one. It starts with Some Girls Bite, and then it has, 8 more. And it's about Merritt, who was changed into a vampire against her will. Set in Chicago, where Chicago is kind of set up with different vampire houses, like different sects of vampires. But anyway, this one I think brings in a lot of supernatural things, like werewolves and all kinds of stuff, fairies. I really like these. I like Chloe Neal. I know you guys probably think I'm nuts because I'm all over the place. And the very last book I have to show you is this one by Richelle Mead. It's called Bloodlines. She's the author of the Vampire Academy books. I've read all of those. I say if you guys are interested in vampire books, I think these books are set for teens. They're in the teen section. I like them. Don't laugh at me. I've read all the Vampire Academy books. They get real thick. Loved them and went through them like that. I read those last year. I wish I had done this video last year because I did get through a decent amount of books, even though I don't think I did a great job. But this is kind of the spin-off of that. It takes one of the characters that you meet in those books. Her name is Sydney Sage, and she is an alchemist. And it says Sydney Sage is an alchemist, one of a group of humans who dabble in magic and serve to bridge the world of humans and vampires. Alchemists protect vampire secrets and human lives. So some of the characters that you meet in this book will be from the Vampire Academy, so it gives you a little backstory. And there are multiple of these. This is the first one. So anyway, do you guys still like me after seeing how all over the place I am with my books? But I love them. I can't wait to start, I can't wait to get through the Andy Cohen book next, and then we'll see where I go from there. But I would love to know any of your favorite books or books that you're currently reading that you'd recommend, knowing that I don't want anything that's really sad. I know, that's pathetic. But anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much if you watch this. I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, but when I mentioned it, some of you were like, yeah, I totally want to see what you're planning to read. You may not want to see it now that you probably are like, girl, don't do that again. Anyway, thank you so, so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.